Something historic is happening across Europe. Nations that once opened their doors to millions of migrants are now closing them fast. In 2025, deportations are reaching record highs. Borders are tightening and new laws are reshaping what it means to belong in Europe. This isn't just about politics. It's about safety, economics, and national identity. Today on Global Lens, we examine the 10 European countries leading this massive immigration crackdown and what it means for the future of the continent. Stay with us and don't forget to subscribe to Global Lens for in-depth reports on global policy and population trends around the world. Chapter 1. Latvia. Latvia, a Baltic nation of less than 2 million people, has taken a remarkably strict approach to border control. In 2025, Riga expanded its high-tech surveillance system along its borders with Belarus and Russia, installing drones and motion sensors to stop illegal crossings. Authorities say these measures are necessary after thousands of migrants were pushed toward the EU's eastern edge during the 2021-2023 border crisis. Latvia continues to enforce emergency border powers, allowing officers to turn back people entering illegally while still providing limited access to asylum at official checkpoints. Human rights groups have criticized the policy, but the government argues it's vital for national security. At home, new citizenship and residency rules now require applicants to pass tougher Latvian language exams and demonstrate integration into local society. This has led many long-term residents from Russian-speaking backgrounds to seek other options, marking a quiet but significant demographic shift. Latvia's stance signals a new phase for smaller EU nations, prioritizing cultural unity and border security above rapid population growth. Chapter 2. Greece. Greece has long been a frontline state for migration into Europe, and after years of pressure, its policies have turned sharply tougher. Since 2024, the government has stepped up border patrols in the Aegean Sea, using new surveillance systems and drone technology to detect unauthorized crossings. Cooperation with Turkey remains central, as both sides work under an updated return agreement to manage irregular arrivals. Asylum procedures have been streamlined, and the government is detaining rejected applicants more quickly before deportation. Officials say this approach helps prevent overcrowded camps and saves local resources. Rights organizations, however, warn that pushbacks at sea and lengthy detentions risk violating international obligations. Public opinion in Greece largely supports the government's efforts. Many citizens feel the country bore an unfair burden during the EU migration crisis, and polls show a strong majority favor stricter border enforcement. In 2025, Greece remains both a gateway and a gatekeeper, determined to protect its borders while still under the watchful eye of Europe and the UN. Chapter 3. Austria. Austria sits at the crossroads of Europe, and it's now drawing firmer lines on who can stay. Following years of debate about migration's impact on housing and welfare, Vienna has reduced asylum approvals and increased deportations of rejected applicants. Officials emphasize faster decisions and tighter screening to prevent abuse of the system. Austria also supports the EU's plan for offshore processing centers in North Africa, where asylum cases could be handled before migrants reach European soil. The idea remains controversial, but Austrian leaders say it's necessary to stop smuggling routes through the Balkans. Inside the country, new rules limit access to benefits for recent arrivals and make citizenship harder to obtain without stable employment and language proficiency. Public support for these measures remains high, especially amid growing pressure on social services. Austria's mix of enforcement and European coordination reflects the continent's broader move toward deterrence rather than open reception. Chapter 4. Denmark. Denmark, often ranked among the world's happiest nations, has also become one of its toughest on immigration. The government maintains its plan to process asylum claims outside Europe, originally designed through talks with Rwanda, though the scheme has yet to begin. Officials say the policy is meant to discourage risky journeys and prevent smuggling networks. At home, Denmark has tightened residency renewals and made integration programs mandatory. Migrants must demonstrate progress in language and community participation to retain their permits. Those convicted of crimes or failing integration criteria face possible removal. The number of new asylum grants remains among the lowest in the EU. While rights organizations condemn the model as discriminatory, Danish leaders call it pragmatic and fair. With most voters backing stricter enforcement, Denmark continues to set a precedent that others may soon follow, one where humanitarian protection and border control are carefully balanced but not always equally. Chapter 5. Italy. Italy's southern coast remains one of Europe's busiest entry points for migrants crossing the Mediterranean. In 2025, Rome has doubled down on deterrence policies under Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. The Italy-Albania migration deal, allowing processing of asylum seekers in facilities on Albanian soil, represents a new and controversial approach within the EU. While the agreement is still being implemented, Italy has expanded deportation capacity and increased cooperation with North African countries for repatriation flights. The Italian Coast Guard has intensified vessel inspections and operations against human smuggling networks, while penalties for unregistered rescue missions have grown stricter. Supporters say these measures are restoring order after years of uncontrolled arrivals. Critics argue they criminalize humanitarian work and fail to address the root causes of migration. Either way, Italy is asserting a stronger hand in Europe's migration management, aiming to shift from being a landing zone to a border enforcer. Chapter 6. Poland. Poland's stance on immigration remains among the most uncompromising in Europe. Its 400-kilometer barrier along the Belarus border, completed after the 2021 migrant standoff, has sharply reduced crossings. Warsaw has reinforced the fence with advanced sensors and patrol technology, treating the route as a matter of national defense. Migrants caught entering irregularly are often returned under emergency procedures, while access to asylum is limited to official points of entry. The EU and human rights groups have urged Poland to improve humanitarian access, but domestic support for the crackdown remains overwhelming. The government argues that firm control protects cultural identity and national security, especially amid concerns that neighboring regimes could exploit migration flows. In 2025, Poland's border wall stands as both a physical and political symbol of Europe's eastward turn toward enforcement-first migration policy. Chapter 7. Finland. Finland, once celebrated for openness and equality, has shifted focus towards security and self-protection. The government has accused Russia of directing irregular migrants toward its eastern frontier, calling it a hybrid influence operation. In response, Finland temporarily closed all crossing points with Russia and began constructing a 200-kilometer border fence equipped with cameras, sensors, and lighting systems. Deportations have increased steadily, and new legislation allows faster removal of those without legal status. Residence permits have been revoked for hundreds of people whose home regions are now considered stable enough for return. Authorities are also prioritizing the expulsion of foreign nationals with criminal convictions. Critics say Finland's new measures risk undermining the country's reputation for fairness, but public opinion tells a different story. Most Finns support policies that prioritize citizens in the welfare system. Finland's transformation shows how even the most progressive states are redefining humanitarian boundaries in an age of geopolitical tension. Chapter 8. Sweden. Sweden's reputation as Europe's most welcoming country has changed dramatically. After years of high immigration and growing concern over crime and integration, the Swedish government adopted a stricter approach beginning in 2024. Deportations of undocumented migrants are accelerating, and authorities have shortened asylum procedures to speed up decisions. The government has also moved to end social benefits for those without legal residency and to expand cooperation with countries of origin for returns. Discussions are underway about revoking citizenship from dual nationals convicted of serious offenses, a sign of how far public attitudes have shifted. Rights groups warn that Sweden is abandoning the humanitarian legacy that defined it for decades, while officials argue the reforms are necessary to restore safety and social cohesion. For many Swedes, the goal is not hostility but rebalancing, ensuring that support systems serve those who follow the rules. The change marks one of Europe's most striking reversals in migration policy. Chapter 9. Germany. Germany, long known for its welcome culture, is now tightening its migration rules in ways few imagined 10 years ago. After hosting more than 2 million refugees since 2015, the strain on housing, services, and local budgets has pushed Berlin toward reform. New fast-track deportation laws allow rejected asylum seekers to be removed more quickly, while benefits for new arrivals have been reduced. The government is expanding repatriation agreements with countries like Afghanistan, Georgia, and Morocco to simplify returns. Foreign nationals with criminal convictions are facing expedited removal, and voluntary return programs have been increased to encourage departures without force. Officials emphasize that Germany remains committed to humanitarian principles, but insist that the system must stay manageable. public opinion largely supports the shift. Many Germans view it as a practical correction rather than a retreat from compassion. In 2025, Germany remains Europe's largest host of migrants, but its focus has turned from generosity to governance. Chapter 10. France. France stands at the forefront of Europe's immigration overhaul. After years of debate about integration, security, and social unrest, Paris introduced one of the toughest immigration laws in recent history. The new framework simplifies deportations for those without legal status, expands powers to expel individuals deemed security threats, and tightens requirements for residency renewals. Authorities have dismantled informal camps in several major cities and increased removals of people with expired visas or rejected asylum claims. While the exact number of deportations is not yet confirmed, officials report a clear upward trend compared with prior years. The policy has divided opinion. Rights organizations warn of humanitarian risks, while most voters say the state must reassert control after years of instability. France's stance reflects a broader shift across Europe, where public demand for stronger borders now outweighs traditional political caution. For better or worse, France is shaping the continent's new immigration playbook. From the Baltic to the Mediterranean, Europe is redrawing its migration map. Smaller nations like Latvia are reinforcing identity, while larger powers like France, Germany, and Italy are rethinking openness itself. Across the continent, governments are replacing welcome centers with processing hubs and integration debates with enforcement policies. Supporters call it a return to order. Critics call it a retreat from Europe's values. Either way, the balance between compassion and control is shifting, and it's changing the idea of Europe as we've known it for decades. Thanks for watching Global Lens. If you found this analysis informative, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into the world's biggest policy shifts. We'll see you in the next video.